and we start the live stream with dogs horsing around. They seem to know when I'm going to go live or do a live stream. And as you can see, you just saw the dog on the couch. They just started roughhousing, so I do apologize in advance if you should happen to see or hear the dogs as a distraction because yeah, they're dogs. They're going to do what they're going to do. But anyway, it is officially 3 o'clock Eastern Time. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. Welcome to the Sunday video update. Today's date is Sunday, August 23rd, 2026. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your weekend. Joining me off camera this week is my dad, which I don't know if they can see your hand waving, Pop. There it is. There we go. Amy, she's out in the camper. And there are some things I have to talk about, obviously, this week because, well, that's why I'm here. But, you know, if you're new here, welcome. I do a live stream every Sunday for roughly about an hour between the hours of, say, like 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're new here, welcome. But I just talk about the week in review and what's, going on in my life and what's going on in Dad's life. And Amy, if she decides to share, but Amy's out in the camper, so I don't think she's going to be sharing much of anything. But this is what I do. It's a weekly thing. I've been doing this for a long time. I've had this channel for about 11 years. And I had recently lost like 6 subscribers, which is fine. I think most of them were probably troll accounts anyway. But I have my chat log open for honest, open engagement with people who want to come in and say hello or wherever the case may be. Or in the case of a longtime friend, whom of which I haven't seen in quite some time, who goes by chewing off my toenail in chat, he has returned. And but before I get to his comical comments, I want to remind everybody that tonight is the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on 103.9 The Fox. You can listen live via the internet on your desktop. You can download the Fox mobile app and you can listen anywhere in the world. My buddy Dan Richards is taking over the airwaves tonight from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock, taking requests at 810-230-9777. That's the number you call. The station's in Flint, Michigan, and it can be heard from everywhere in the world. Anywhere there's an internet connection, you can listen to it online. You can, like I said, download the Fox mobile app to your device, and you can listen on that. But he plays music falling into the classic country, Southern rock, and classic rock genres. I mean, he'll play a variety of things, which is why I absolutely love his show. If you have not listened to his show ever, I put a link in the chat so that way you can follow that link, click on listen live, and at 7 o'clock tonight, I would say it lapses into the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards because he's just phenomenal. He's a good friend of mine. And we've been buddies for quite some time now, and I support everything he does, and I'm always helping him. And so yeah, you can call the number 810-230-9777, or you can message the official Fox Sunday Flashback Facebook page on Facebook, or you can email Dan flashback@classicfox.com, and if he's got the song, he'll get it on the air for you tonight. But if he doesn't have it, he'll probably, he'll text me. He'll send me a text message and say, "Hey, Jared, need this song. Could you hook me up?" Absolutely. They don't call me the associate producer for nothing. But we are, hey. It's just Amy, and I'll stop. The Fox Sunday Flashback is tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Hello, Amy. I know I'd get her in here at some point, and I didn't even have to coax her with food. 103.9 The Fox. Check it out tonight, guys. I think you'll be very impressed. So, without further ado, we got some comments in chat from Chewing Off My Toenail, which I tried to get your attention earlier, Amy, to let you know that our good old buddy came back. And this is what he has to say. My toenails have been enjoying their summer by camping out inside my hot dogs. This morning, my toenail went skating in circles around my buttery pancake. it made me happy to see that little toenail having fun. Last night we had a loud storm come through and my toenails were scared and hiding underneath my bed. Aw. Once the clouds moved on, the toenails came out from under my bed and started to dribble a basketball in my house. They knocked over the lamp in my living room, but that's okay. I need a new one. A toenail is struggling to climb onto my sofa. Poor little guy. Aw. I'm sure he'll get up there. I found out that one of my toenails has a peanut allergy, so I have to triple up on the jelly for him. He loves jelly sandwiches and sometimes sleeps inside of them. I don't know where you come up with this stuff. I tried to get a toenail to sit in church, but he jumped up and started singing Highway to Hell during the sermon. After he finished singing, he stood on the pastor's head and posed like John Travolta. Jared, please remember that your grassroots experience as a child of cancer survivor is important to all of the kids who are getting treatment. Well, thank you so much. You are loved, thought about, and appreciated. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Those kids need their Jared Bear. Aw. Well, that's very sweet. We love you, buddy. Keep your head up. And I love you too. I don't know your real name, but you go by chewing off my toenail on my chat log. I love you too. Thank you so much for the laughs and for the encouragement. It means a lot. It really does. And I don't hear that a lot from people that, hey, you've survived it and you know what it's like, and that it's appreciated. Well, I appreciate the fact that people appreciate my advocacy. And yes, I can be an outspoken, sharp tongued advocate, but that's the point of advocacy. You have to speak the truth and you have to call a spade, which seems to be the one thing that irritates and pisses off a lot of people. But I don't do it to piss people off. I do it because at some point in time, during advocacy, because we're coming up on September, and I know a lot of people are getting geared, quote unquote, geared up for the month of September, especially the outsiders. And they are doing a damn fine job of making it about themselves. People who have not had to live my life or live the experiences that I have, or the experiences of actual families whose kids are fighting. They make it about themselves at every turn. And that's what I get annoyed with. Now, many of you may not know this, but my YouTube channel, The Jared Fuller Show, was suspended last week. That was one of the things I was going to talk about. They said that it was in violation of a circumvention rule, which I'm not sure exactly what I was circumventing. But I thought I followed the rules. I was, doing the usual, like I do the shout out videos, and I, do the little animations with the blackface and everything, which I didn't think I was violating any rules. But YouTube says that I was. It was a circumvention rule that was violated, and I have no clue even what I circumvented. So the Jared Fuller Show was gone officially. But then I started another channel, just my name, and I've uploaded like 5 videos. What I'll do is I'll leave a link to that channel in the chat, so that way you guys can get over and subscribe, because I've only got like 2 subscribers on the channel right now. So let me see if I can find that. Okay, that's the one. Let me. Oh, come on, Jesus. So let me. Sorry about that, guys. It takes a minute for that to. For some reason, it takes a minute for the volume and the pause buttons to load on the videos. I don't know why. But I'm going to put the link to my new channel in the chat, so that way you guys can get over and subscribe to that. It's probably by far more calmer than this channel, because on this channel, I swear, I use profane language. And on this other channel, I'm going to try to refrain from doing that, because I want for my videos and the content to be, I want it to be not, so hard to watch. because you know, I know how people are with videos, watching content on YouTube, and they just don't like the all the cursing, as they call it. Um, oh, my buddy just sent me a turn that down. It's a little. A buddy of mine just sent me a picture of a tattoo he got with his kid's initials. Who's that? These dogs, I'm telling you, the dogs should have their own YouTube channel because they seemingly take over the show. Probably a bird or something, huh? All right, cool. Okay, yep, it's a bird. Nobody else is here. But a buddy of mine, he is got a new tattoo here in Michigan with all their initials. They don't know about it, but they'll see it when I get home Friday. Well, they probably know it now if they're watching my channel. Dude, that's fucking awesome. Fucking cool, man. That's fucking awesome. You got a part of Michigan etched in your skin. Hold on, guys. I'm replying to this text here. You have a piece of Michigan etched into your skin. How cool. I'm hoping because they're from Tennessee, and I'm hoping he'll bring the family up to Michigan because he's been talking about it, and he got his tattoo here in Michigan. How fucking sweet. And yes, his daughter is a child of cancer survivor, by the way. And he got his kid's initials etched into in a tattoo, and his wife. I have yet to meet his wife. I've met this guy twice now, and he's just the coolest. He's one of my good buddies, and he knows that I'm always doing stuff, raising awareness to child of cancer. His daughter is a survivor, of course. And he was talking about bringing him to Michigan, which I'm hoping he does. Because I just think that'd be the greatest thing. I want to meet her, and I want to get some pictures taken with her, and I want to have my Jared Bear with me, and just the usual thing. It's a little warm in here. Let me turn this fan on. So if you hear the noise of the fans in the background, I do apologize, but it's a little warmish in here. But yeah, my buddy, he's been texting me, and oh, I see. TriStar for Tennessee, but done in Michigan. Gotcha. Well, I don't think his wife and kids watch this channel, but I did leave a link to the other channel that I designed or I set up. It's in the link. The link to that channel's in the chat. So make sure you go and check it out. Hold on. He messaged me again. I try not to get distracted with text messages or anything because it's I'm in the middle of a live stream, so I want to make sure that my attention is being focused on this because I'm live. So Dad has he has his first treatment on Wednesday. So what that is, it's called BCG. Okay. And BCG, it's like it's like a tuberculosis antibodies, I guess. But what they're going to do is it's immunotherapy. They're going to put it up into his bladder. He's got to hold it for 2 hours. And then after the 2 hours, he's got to urinate it. So he's going to have a catheter again, and he's not looking forward to it. I know it's not fun. It's not going to be fun, but it's doable. I know I wouldn't look forward to it if it was me, but it can be done, and we're just going to see how it goes. He's got to have it done once a week for 6 weeks. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Saginaw. Yep. So so eventually it'll taper off, it'll peter out, but it won't be as frequent, as time goes on. It'll become more infrequent. But he's got to get it done, and he's not looking forward to it. But I think it's for the better good, and I think he's been thinking. I honestly don't know what Dad's thinking. I don't want to assume anything, but I know you're not looking forward to it. I mean, we've had that conversation. You're not looking forward to it, but it's something that it's got to be done. But we're, and I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are concerned about Dad. And yeah. I mean, right now he's doing pretty good. He didn't get to bed until late, so that's why he just come in, because he slept out in the camper. Oh. What's that? Yeah, Dad and Amy went to the Owasso Speedway last night. They borrowed my car, and Dad was just saying the races didn't get done until late. And yeah, it rained here pretty good. Actually, when you guys were gone, well, I had the shades open here on the living room window, and it was pouring rain, but the sun was also shining, which I thought was pretty cool. You could see the rain coming, actually, because normally you don't see the rain when it's coming from the clouds, not visibly, but because the sun was shining, it was illuminating the raindrops as they were falling, which I thought was really cool to see. But then the rain cleared up. I don't know if we have any more storms or rain on the way, but I'm pretty sure that we have more storm chance. We need the rain. We need all the rain we can get. Oh yeah, there's spotty rain showers right now. It's raining in St. Charles, or maybe at least sprinkling right now in St. Charles. There's a heavy pocket of rain in Shields on M46, just west of Saginaw. And there's another spotty rain shower in Elsie, might just be sprinkles. Then there's another green blotch near Ovid. And I call it a blotch because it's how it shows up on the weather map. There's another little pocket of drizzle or rain down by Lansing, and we'll check Genesee County. There's some rain near Otisville. So it's out there. It's spotty, but it's out there. And we can definitely take all the rain we can get. But so this week, that's what's going on. Dad's got to have that done. And there's an event coming up on, let's see, it'd be Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. There's an event coming up on Saturday that I've been invited to, and I'm going to go check that out, which should be a great time. And it's an event for a cancer warrior. The people who are I think it's the grandparent of the cancer warrior, they want to meet me, and they're local, so I got to go check it out. I got to make my presence known and share my story, and I'll probably take my Jared Bear with me for that one. But so those are my plans on Saturday. I think it's from noon until 5. I think I'd have to look at the flyer again, but it's from noon until 5, I think. And they're local. They're from the area, so should be a fun time. I want to meet the little warrior and, probably do a fist bump or a hug or whatever he prefers. It's whatever. But the grandmother wants to meet me. She wants me to share my story and to kind of delve into details about what I had to go through. And I'm looking forward to it. It's part of the advocacy. It's part of me connecting directly and sharing my experiences. And it's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy sharing my stories and getting the word out there. Because I did mention some time ago, just briefly a little while ago, that there are people, the outsiders. That's my biggest qualm right now, is with people who have never had to live a day in my life or in the day of the life of someone who actually has had to go through this with their kids. You have too many people who are attaching themselves to our life, to our lives, and they're not doing it for the greater good. I don't have a problem with anybody raising, awareness to childhood cancer. That's not the issue. I don't care if you're directly affected by childhood cancer or not. Everybody should be raising awareness broadly. Everybody should be raising awareness, and I encourage it. I encourage people in my chat. I encourage you watching at home. If you're not someone who, someone who's directly been impacted by this, I still want you to raise awareness. But it becomes a problem when you start making this about you. When you are, you see somebody, I put a video up on that other channel, that I shared a link to the other channel in the chat. I put up a video called The Fed versus the Feeder. And it kind of, I talk about that. Like, there's people who genuinely care about people who need fed, and they make it about the person who needs fed. Until such time as they break out their camera, they take a selfie, or they video record the exchange from your hands to their hands, then it becomes about you, the feeder. And there's a lot of that happening in the childhood cancer world, a lot of it. The outsiders love to make it about themselves. I don't care that they raise hundreds of thousands for a hospital. Cool beans, I've done that. I participated in doing things like that. Doesn't make me special, but it makes me feel good inside as an actual survivor, having gone through that and making a difference for other kids who were going through, similar things as I had to go through. But these people are just doing it for them because they want the credit. They want to look good in front of the world. They are more concerned about the perception of the public. How is the world going to see them by exploiting someone's vulnerability? And I found a video on YouTube which actually resonates with exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a guy who, if you can get through it, every other word is fuck, but if you can get through it, he talks a lot about that. He says, you're going to video record giving money to somebody or giving a hot meal to someone who's less fortunate than you are. It's not about them. Now it's about you. And you are willing to maximize your popularity at someone else's expense, which is fucking disgusting. And I couldn't agree with him more. I could not agree with that person more. I wish I could find the video. I'm sure I could find it. But it's just, there's a piece of plastic in the fan. It's just really terrible when people do this. I don't care that you have mail sent to the kids. I don't care if you have, the mailboxes are overflowing. I don't care. Good for you. I care that they're getting mail, but you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for you. It's always about you. I've been raising awareness to childhood cancer for a very long time. But apart from that, I've been a survivor for 37 years. So I have had more than enough experience as a survivor. I may not be the most polarizing person in the childhood cancer world, but people know who I am. And like I said last week, I'm working on some other projects, other things. I have no guarantee that my plans will go through because there's never any guarantees. There's never any guarantees. But I'm trying. I'm going to try to get the word out there as best as I can. I know that there's a lot of people who turn to YouTube for information, but mainly what I've been finding in regard to childhood cancer is the hospitals are sharing other people's stories, which I mean, it's advocacy, it's raising awareness, which is fine. But I want to hear directly from parents who, if they have their own channels, or, I want to hear directly from the people. That's why I was on Facebook and I was connected with so many parents and so many families, because they are sharing their raw stories, their personal grassroots, hit the ground running experiences with childhood cancer. That's why I was connected with so many of these people. And despite the fact that Debbie Carver was running my name into the ground, most people are not buying it. And I think the lights are starting to come on inside of a lot of people, and they're realizing that Debbie Carver is not as great as she says she is. She made a recent post, and I know this. Trust me, things get back to me surreptitiously. She made a post where she wanted ChatGPT to describe her and how wonderful she is. You can double down all you want, Debbie, but we know the real you, and I've exposed the fuck out of you, and the whole world knows what you're up to and what you've done and the things you've said. Everybody knows. So you can resort to ChatGPT. You can resort to AI telling you how amazing and wonderful you are, but us actual human beings fucking know better, and we're not falling for it. And sooner or later, a lot more people are going to find out. So, and like I said, if you flag the video, then that's just going to admit that you're guilty. That's going to be an admission of guilt that you fucked up. And so I got you. That's it. You've been exposed. I caught you. And I've got people watching. So if I were you, I would tread softly and be very careful about what you say when you get behind the Justina Banks profile. Be very careful what you say, because people are always watching, and you can set the profile to friends. That just demonstrates guilt even more, because you know you got fucking caught. You're a coward, Debbie, hiding behind a fake profile. That's what a coward does. You don't have the nerve or the gumption or the fucking spine to say what you need to say publicly on your own profile. See, I'm on YouTube. I don't need to hide my face. I don't need to disguise my voice. You're a lying fucking twat and a sorry excuse for a human being. I don't need to hide behind anything. I'll tell you that right to your face. So, that's that. But as far as everything else goes, and by the way, Debbie is an outsider as well, and trying to make this about herself. That's why when she posts the gold ribbon memes or whatever, she's always including her name, because she wants the credit for it, which is basically what most of these outsider types do. They want credit for a life that they've never had to live. And to me, that's really weird, considering that each and every person within the demographic, those of us who organically make up for the population of the demographic, we didn't ask to be here. But the outsiders are attaching themselves to this. They are so desperate to be seen and heard. They just want their name and their face everywhere. That's all that is. But it makes me sick knowing that these people are using kids for clout. They are using these kids to be Mr. and Mrs. Popularity. It's a bunch of shit. I don't support people like this. Once upon a time, I supported a guy who, he admitted that he's not a parent of a cancer kid, which is, that's what he should do. He should be honest with the people that, he's doing this for, or so he says. But the minute you make it about yourself, no. And that's what happened. That's what he's done. And that's why he's been doubling down. See, I don't have to be on Facebook to actually know what the fuck is going on. I see things. And so doubling down just makes you're fighting the truth. You can convince people that you're here for them, but if there's nothing in it for you, the outsider, you're not interested. I don't care that you have a big platform. I don't care. What I've had to go through and what all these kids are going through can't be replicated. You will never have the full-on experience. I don't care that your cousin, well, that's still not the same thing, because you're not there with them. That's not your kid. You're not there with them. You don't know what the parents are going through. You can walk away anytime. That's the thing about being an outsider. It's easy to raise awareness, but until such time as you've had to sit in a hospital room with one of your own children, or if you yourself have been through it, you don't know what you're talking about. You can put all the memes and all the bullshit on Facebook that you want about, oh, these are the signs to watch for. How would you know which signs to watch for? Other than some picture saying these are the signs to watch for, how the fuck would you know? You wouldn't know, because you have not had to live my life or the lives of these children. So don't even fucking go there. And you're pandering to the emotions of these people. You've exploited their vulnerability to make yourself look like a hotshot. I know that's not something you want to hear, but the truth usually isn't something you want to hear. So I get you. I got it. But we are coming up to September, and they're counting down. These outsider types, they count down the days to September, which I think is really stupid, because nobody is counting down days. Nobody ever in their right mind is counting down days to a month that talks about childhood cancer awareness. Nobody is ever, discussing, well, there's only so many days left and I'm getting excited. Excited for what? Grandstanding? Because that's what you're doing. You have not had to live my life. You have not had to live the lives of these kids. And yet here you are using these poor babies against their own will and at their expense, which I think is gross. And I wish more parents would actually call you people out instead of, shying away and, well, I got enough on my plate and I don't want to deal with that. Well, you know what? It needs to be fucking dealt with. And these people need to be dealt with. And stop letting outsiders exploit your kids, because that's all they're here for. Because, yeah, I'm drinking Pepsi. These people don't know what you're going through. I guarantee it. They're not having those conversations with you. And if they are, they're fucking liars. They're absolute liars. So I wanted to make sure I made that known, because I'm really sick and tired of people doing this to these kids, using these kids for clout, and none of them have a single raw grassroots connection with childhood cancer. One person, oh, well, I watched my best friend go through neuroblastoma, so I wanted to make a nonprofit organization, which is great. If you want to help people, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you yourself are not having those conversations. You're just not. Those conversations don't happen. And if they are, you're lying. You're lying to the people you're talking to, and you're lying to yourself. Stop using kids for clout. Stop. It's not about you. If you really care about the kids, make it about them. If you want to help somebody, that's great. Everybody should help everybody. But the minute you make it about you, and you care more about the perception of the public versus the good deed that you're doing, when it becomes about you and worrying about how the public sees you, then I no longer give a fuck about you. Then I don't have to take you seriously. Then everything you do after that becomes disingenuous. And I will call it out every time, every single time. These kids don't deserve that. They've got enough going on. They are not, it is not up to them. It is not, that responsibility should not be placed on someone who's vulnerable and someone who's just wanting to survive. The last thing they should worry about, kids and parents alike in the oncology world, is making someone shine like a fucking diamond. That should be the last of their worries or their concerns. People have been saying this about me for years. Oh, Jared just wants to steal the spotlight. I'm not stealing the spotlight. I'm sharing my personal lived experiences. If you consider that a threat, which I don't know why it would ever be a threat, but if you consider that to be a threat, then that tells me more about you, because you're looking at this from an us versus him mentality, and that's not the way it is. And it shouldn't be the way it is. That's why I don't refer to our demographic as a community. Because I've seen the workings of a community and the way people behave under the guise of a community. And if that's what you want, then leave me out of it. Count me out. I am part of a demographic, which is neutral, and people don't behave a certain way to remain within a demographic. The demographic is just what it is, childhood cancer. I am a part of that demographic. I'm not a part of a community. When you start calling it a community, leave me out. Because people act heinously in the face of a community. In community, by what I understand, when you break apart the word community, you have the prefix come, as in come together, and the suffix unity, unite, come together and unite, community. Now, they use the word community because there's a benefit. There's baggage with the word community. And when you throw in the word community into the mix, it becomes a toxic environment. I want no part of it. Don't include me in your community. Include me in your demographic. I am more comfortable and accepting of the word demographic. I'm fine being in a demographic of childhood cancer survivors, warriors, whatever, but don't put me in your community. You can't put me in your little box. You can't square me. You can't square the circle. You can't. Because people act out in ways that they shouldn't. And I think that's where a lot of the infighting comes in. Because and another way to look at community is usually when you do come together and unite, and there's no us versus them mentality taking place. It should be us versus childhood cancer, not us versus Jared Fuller or us versus Mike Tyson or don't put me on the same shelf as Mike Tyson. You never will, first of all. Second of all, I've gone through things that Mike Tyson has not. And I'm just using Mike Tyson as an example. But really that applies to anybody who's an outsider and they're just using this for their benefit to be, known and seen to the world because they care more about the perception of the public. I don't care about the perception of the public. I don't give a shit how the world sees me as long as they know that I'm someone who's lived it and survived it. And I will speak on behalf of these kids who are going through this, and I'll advocate like hell. I will advocate like hell. I'll make phone calls. I'll send letters. I'll do whatever means necessary. If you want me to write to, a certain congressman or someone in charge, tell me, give me a name, give me an address. I'll advocate like hell. But I am not going to idly sit by and let outsiders turn this into a pissing match or, hey, look at me and how amazing I am. I exploited some poor kid. So doesn't that make me look cool on the internet? No, it doesn't. It makes you look like a jerk and someone who should be written off as a nobody. But I've said a lot here. That's what I do. That's the Sunday video update. That's what I do. That's just what I do, man. I tell it like it is. I speak truth. And there are lots of people out there who they don't like it. They don't like it because Jared won't shut up about, well, Jared, you should pick and fight your own battles. Well, I didn't choose. I should pick and choose my own battles rather. But I didn't choose the fight for childhood cancer. I didn't choose that. And the kids who are currently in treatment didn't choose this either. They did not choose this at all. So I speak on their behalf. And I speak for the babies who can't speak for themselves. So that's what I do. And I don't care who gets pissed. I know there's a lot of people who want me to come back to Facebook. I've been getting text message after text message. You gotta come back, Jared. We need your advocacy. You are loved and missed and appreciated and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. I understand there are people out there who genuinely want me to come back to Facebook. And look, it's crossed my mind. It has. There are people who really want me to come back to Facebook, and they want me to advocate, and um they want me to be a voice, and they want me to raise awareness. They want me to get involved like I did before. But the truth of the matter is that Facebook was taking up a lot of my time. Not the people. I love the people. I love the connections that I had. I genuinely love the people. I love all the connections I had. I miss everybody. Yeah, that's why I was trying to get people orientated to text me or email me or whatever it is I had to do, to stay in contact. I genuinely miss everybody. But the problem wasn't the people. The problem was the platform, because it was engineered and designed to keep you coming back. And then when you keep coming back, you're being distracted from other things in life that need to be done. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets accomplished because you're spending every waking moment doom scrolling on your phone. And eventually it just takes up all of your time. It takes up all of your time. There's not enough hours in a day to doom scroll your phone plus get the things done that need to be done. So I had to cut the platform out of my life. I didn't turn my back on the people. I didn't cut the people out. I removed the platform, because the platform is constantly demanding of your undivided attention, and it's set up intentionally to keep you coming back and to keep you stuck in this, dopamine driven loop of validation. Ask the outsiders in the childhood cancer world. They will tell you exactly the same thing. Although they probably won't admit it, not readily, but overtly, that's what's happening. They are stuck in a validation loop, and they are using your kids for the pat on the back, for the emojis, because it's satisfying to get a heart or a thumb or a care or some kind of an emoji. That's what we've reduced ourselves to. And that's part of the reason why I stepped away from Facebook again. Am I coming back to Facebook? A part of me wants to. But, I can say I've been away from Facebook now for at least 2 or 3 weeks. It hasn't been bad. It's gotten quieter, and I do miss people. I miss the interactions with people, but it has gotten so much quieter and peaceful and calm, and knowing that I'm not stuck in this perpetual loop, just validation. I think if I do come back to Facebook, I probably won't make I won't make it into a public announcement here, but I really and truly hope that if I do come back to Facebook, people will find me again, and they will want to reconnect. They will appreciate my advocacy. They will appreciate what I do, but they got to be prepared to read some things that might tick them off, because I'm not going to shut up about outsiders. That's just never going to happen. That's not an option. Outsiders have to be called out for being who they are. People who are preying on innocent people and exploiting vulnerability to make themselves look good. Grandstanding, in other words. Everything they're doing is performative. They don't care about you. They don't care about the fact that your child is hurting. They care more about how the world and how they're going to perceive them. They care more about public perception than anything. Not me. Not me. I care more about your babies. I always have. I always will. And no matter how I got to do it, I don't care if I have to advocate on YouTube. I don't care if I have to advocate on my blog post. I don't care if I have to stand on a fucking busy street corner holding up a goddamn sign that says honk for, childhood cancer awareness. If you think there should be more than 4% allocated to the budget, then that's what I'll do. But I'm not making it about me. I'm making it about the kids. And if it just so happens that a news story happens to pick it up, or whatever the case may be, then so be it. But I'm actually a survivor. I'm not grandstanding, at someone else's expense. I'm doing this because my own personal battle with childhood cancer has been and always will be deeply rooted in my advocacy efforts, no matter how I do it. I'm always going to have that experience. I can match the blood, sweat, and tears that these children are shedding. Every drop of blood, every tear, every bead of sweat. Jerry Bear can match that, man. I can match it. And it really just irks me that there are people out there with no lived experience of this, and they have decided, in order to feel noble, because there is some feeling they had when they were 10 years old, which I don't give a fuck about. It's irrelevant to the actual truth of what's going on. There are those people who are just attaching themselves because they are broken. They're broken people. I don't care that they raise money for a hospital. I've done that. Like I said, I'm not special. There are people who, that they like sending cards to the kids or whatever. Okay, cool. The kids like it, but they're not doing it for the kids. They're doing it for them. They want to take the credit for that. That's why they're doing it. They have no other reason to be here other than to look good. I would have been fine with them if they would have just stuck to raising awareness. If they would have just stuck to the basic go gold in September and, let's raise awareness and let's help get the word, I would have been fine with that. Let's help get the word out. I would have been fine with that. But then they had to take it to their, they took it into made it their own. They're trying to shoehorn their personality into the lifestyles of those of us who've actually lived it, and they will never do that. And I don't want them to do that. There is a mom, though, that I had spoken with, and she says, there's a part of me that wishes that outsiders would go through this just so they could feel what we feel. Yes and no. I mean, I get where she's coming from. I understand at the base of that. I understand what she's saying. I totally get it. But I would not wish cancer on even my worst enemy. And I've got enemies out there. I wouldn't wish cancer on Debbie Carver. As much as I despise her, no. I wouldn't wish it on her or Carrie Rickman or anybody who's, not even Ronnie Duvall, not even Tom Mitchell, nobody. Not Milk Tyson, nobody. I wouldn't wish death on people who are not very fond of me. I wouldn't do that. No matter how much we might fight and argue, and no matter how badly they've slandered and defamed my name, I still wouldn't wish cancer on them because it is horrific. And I don't say that in an attempt to try to win your respect or earn your respect, because you don't have mine. You've lost mine, and I couldn't give a fuck if I have yours. But I'm saying that I still wouldn't wish that on somebody because it's horrible. It's a terrible thing to go through. And I definitely would not wish that on anybody. But I've spent a majority of this Sunday video update talking about this. But I decided that today I wanted today's live stream to be about that. I'm sick of outsiders using this for their own benefit. I'm really sick of it. And some people have written it off as jealousy. Or Jared's just jealous because they're getting all the attention and Jared's not. It's not that at all. I'm not jealous of anybody. I'm not jealous. I've never been jealous. But I'm discontented with parents who are allowing these outsider types to attach themselves to their lives. And for what reason? They're not here for you. I'm trying to get people orientated to understand this, that the outsiders who have not had to live this life, they are not here for you. They are here for them because they are self-serving. They are vanity vultures. They are looking for an opportunity to make themselves look perfect and pristine to the rest of the world, if it means exploiting the vulnerability of your sick child. That's what they're doing. I'm not exploiting your kids. What I'm doing is I am sharing my personal experiences in relation to what your kids are going through. And that's something that an outsider will never possess, is the personal experience. I don't wish that they would. And it's not something I would ever wish, but they will never have that true personal experience having gone through that. And it's not a race. I didn't ask to be put into this demographic. Nobody does. And that's the point. Nobody asked to be here. Nobody. And then you have people showing up, attaching themselves, willingly attaching themselves because for some reason or another, they're fucking broken. These people are broken. And that's usually how it goes. And they're looking for somewhere to make their name known, even if it means mooching a little bit of vulnerability and trying to get their name out there. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I made that video, the Fed versus the feeder, on my other YouTube channel, because and I only had so many minutes I could do it. But here I wanted to eventually use one of my Sunday videos to talk about this because it's very serious. This is a serious thing going on, and I don't like the fact that there's outsiders using kids for clout. And there's going to be people watching this who may agree or disagree. I don't really care. I don't care that they have a radio show. I don't care that they raise money for a hospital. I don't give a shit. I don't care. My buddy has a radio show. And, he could, if he wanted to, talk about childhood cancer, but he doesn't have to, and he probably won't. It's entirely up to him. It's his radio show. But I have a YouTube channel as well. This is my platform. I don't dedicate this channel entirely to childhood cancer. I actually have another channel that I do dedicate entirely to childhood cancer. And I'm going to do some more work on that, and I'm going to project all of that, my energy, onto that one channel because it's about my life, and it's about raising awareness to a cause that is personal for me. It is not personal for an outsider. They try to make it sound like, well, this is my life now. No, it is not your life. It's your life's work, but it's not your life. I don't care that you had a feeling when you were 10 years old. That's irrelevant. It's not the same thing as actually having gone through the experience. I'm glad that, you were compelled in some way to want to raise awareness because, you saw a smiling bald kid and that made you feel compelled to want to get involved and raise awareness and help families. Fine. But anybody who really and truly cares about helping people, they don't need to make it known to the world. That's supposed to be between you and the person you help. That's why that I always say I'm doing things that are off the radar. Nobody knows. It's between me and the people I help, and they know who they are. I don't need the recognition for it. I don't need the popularity. I don't need the publicity. If I'm going to get publicity for something, I want it to be known to the world. If not the world, at least locally, that I am an actual childhood cancer survivor raising awareness. I notice your kids. I'm going to raise awareness for your kids, no matter the cost. I'll sit here for 3 hours and talk about childhood cancer if I have to. But luckily for the Sunday video update, this is only an hour-long show. So I'm not going to be here for no more than the hour because I have other things I have to do. But what's that? Sometimes I go over. There was that time when someone requested I stay for an extra half hour. And it's like, okay, I got nothing else to do. I'll stay for an extra 30 minutes, which I did. And it was, it was fun. But I'm very passionate about what I do. And I'm even more rigidly concerned about people who are just attaching themselves for no other reason than to look good in front of the world, and they make it so obvious. So obvious. I'm disgusted by people who do this. They exploit vulnerability of children, especially. But then I'm discontented with a lot of the parents. I'm not disgusted with them. I don't hate them, but I'm discontented. I'm disheartened by the fact that the parents are actually allowing an outsider to exploit the vulnerability of their children. I have an issue with that. If someone tried pulling that shit with me, making themselves look good at my expense, my mom and dad would have had their heads on a fucking platter. That wouldn't have ever went over with my parents. Never. My mom and dad would have never allowed that. Allowed it? Where the hell did I learn how to talk? My mom and dad wouldn't have ever allowed for someone to use my tragic moment, being at the lowest point in my life. They wouldn't have ever allowed for someone to make themselves look good at my expense. That wouldn't have ever happened. I mean, it should go without saying. You just don't do shit like that. You would think it would be obvious. You think it would be commonsensical. But most people don't have common sense. They lack it. And, it's just one of those things. And I encourage, like I said, I always encourage people to raise awareness to childhood cancer. It doesn't matter if you're impacted by it or not. Raise awareness. I don't have an issue with that. I encourage everybody to do it. I encourage Amy to do it. I encourage Jay to do it. I encourage my brothers. I encourage my cousins. I encourage everybody to raise awareness to childhood cancer. I encourage my nieces and nephews to do it. I encourage everybody, although my nieces and nephews, especially my nephews, are still young kids, so they don't have Facebook. But I encourage everybody, and I'm just saying broadly, everybody should be raising awareness to childhood cancer. I want my next door neighbors to raise awareness to childhood cancer. I can't force them to do it, but I would only hope that they would. Just don't make it about yourself. Raise awareness. Tell people why raising awareness is important. But don't try to make this about you. Don't turn it into, well, this is my life. No, it's not your life. It's just not. You didn't have to live through what I've had to live through. You've never had to go through what parents have to go through with their kids. So don't you dare sit there and try telling people that this is your life, motherfucker, because I will call you out on that. I will call you out and I will grill you, verbally grill you. I will shred you if you try to make this about it, saying that this is your life when it's not. What's up, Dad? What's up? Oh, well, we got 2 minutes left of the show. Is there anything you wanted to add to this before we say goodbye to our viewers? Help everybody and check on your neighbors and be safe. Peace out and be safe. I know I've utilized this entire live stream on talking about childhood cancer and outsiders. That's what I initially was going to do anyway. But I think I got the message across, and hopefully people will watch this and they'll get the message. And if not, I'll just drop more open thought videos and I'm trying to lighten up on the Q&A videos because you can't leave comments on Q&A videos, and I want for people to be able to interact and have the conversations with me on this channel. So I'm trying to lighten up a little bit on the Q&A videos, but the only reason why I upload all the Q&A videos is because I want for people to get facts. Now, if they're going to Google my name, do an AI Google search, I want for people to get factual information. That's why I use my YouTube channel as a hub in order to disseminate the facts of who I am and what I've been through and the connections I have, which, by the way, I didn't know it, but Mongoose in the movie Joe Dirt, the monster truck was Mongoose, and Mongoose is from Lansing. And my dad took me to the Michigan Off-Road Center when I was a kid. And so the truck was built in 93. And that was around the time when I was going for my post-cancer checkups in East Lansing. And sometimes I'd get referrals to Sparrow. And so on the way home, we would just come up, business 96 to Old 27. And the Michigan Off-Road Center was on the north end of Lansing, just as you're coming out, like out by DeWitt. And we would stop in there sometimes, and Mark, the guy who built Mongoose, he would be there, and Dad would pick me up. It's a liability thing. I was probably 6 or 7 years old at the time. And my dad picked me up, and he walked underneath of Mongoose with me in his arms. Mind you, I had a little Band-Aid on my arm from where they had to do labs and all that stuff. But I remember that like it was yesterday. It was such a fun time and a great memory. And then to know that Mongoose was featured in like the Blues Brothers 2000 and Joe Dirt, it's like, no way, man. That is awesome. That is just so cool. But yes, that's what I know about Mongoose. And it is the same truck that I remember from when I was a kid. But anyway, guys, it is 4:01, so I'm over time. I got to go. I love you guys. Please keep my dad in your thoughts. He starts his BCG treatment on Wednesday in Saginaw, so please keep him in your thoughts. And I'll be back next week, probably to talk about the event that I've been invited to. So come on back and make sure you're subscribed, because I noticed I lost a few followers or a few subscribers along the way. So make sure you come back, subscribe, click all on the notification bell. I'm going to try to have more open thought videos and engage conversation. And I'm going to try to do better again with this channel, because I seem to have fallen away from what matters most. So I love you guys. I'll check you next week. Bye-bye. Fox Sunday Flashback tonight at 7. Take care.